This is from George. Pump is unpredictable. I think he definitely nailed that part of the question. We've seen that over the last few days. And might send us into quad 3. What are you buying first if the U.S. dollar makes new lows and the VIX breaks to bearish trend?
Well, I buy what you buy in quad 3. But I don't, it's not that's a trivia. I do the opposite of everything I said this morning, right? I said today I'd sell tech, I'd sell commodities, and I'd sell gold, right? So, Trump's unpredictable. Okay, so let's all buy everything at the top end of the range, George. I mean, that's not what we do.
I think, especially going back to the first part of the question, Trump is unpredictable, right? 3 days ago there was no stimulus or whatever it was. Now we have the biggest stimulus in the history of stimulus. So it's, I think the question actually goes to the first point, which is the unpredictability of it. So why would you, invest based on that at all, effectively?
Well, that's actually the point, right, of the risk rate process, is that it's blind to the predictability or not of President Pump. I mean, no matter what, George, like if you execute the process over years, days, months, years at a time, you will be happy to have sold the things at the top end of the range with no fundamental reason, no view of somebody's predictability or not. You will be happy doing that. That's what we do, right? We do that for that reason, because doing it, consider the alternative, right, Jonesy? I mean, the alternative is waking up this morning, you're affected viscerally by the color of the futures and ESF, Pump, and Mnuchin were affecting that overnight once again. And you are affected. So you wake up in the morning, you're like, the screen is green. These really irrelevant people on CNBC keep talking positively. Wow, this must be good. Like, if that's what you do, George, in the morning, you just need to stop. I mean, you just need to stop it. I mean, that's not what we do. We built a process to fade that. Fade your feelings. Fade your political inclinations, your proclivities. That's what the process is. Math. It's not based on trying to handicap Pump. Now, if you want to really get in the weeds on this is an interesting. Were you on the call this morning, Jonesy, listening to Taylor on this?
Unfortunately, wasn't. I had to take my daughter to school today, so I was doing some parenting.
Well, so I'll give you the update. So JT Taylor, who's head of our Washington policy team, and he's a lot more plugged in than George is on this topic, said, look, it's kind of weird, Keith. Like I talked to my contacts in the Senate, Republicans. They haven't changed a bloody thing versus what they just said. And by the way, even if I'm totally, like, if they're lying to me, which they don't do, I think the probability is very low. And even if it wasn't low, to get this implemented before the election is a very tight window given, the recess for Congress. So one, we think the probability is low. Two, we know that Pump manipulates markets. He's the best president of manipulating the stock market in the history of presidents manipulating the stock market. In fact, nobody's ever done it as tremendously as he has. So, he's going to try to keep it up as far as he can. But once people realize that it's no stim for you, our line of questioning is going to be just like it was 3 weeks ago when people are like, oh, my God, can't we go a lot lower? Because Pump is unpredictable. Like, that was a terrible decision. You would have sold things or not covered your shorts at the low end of our range. So to go back to the discipline, 3 weeks ago, September the 23rd, I bought Bitcoin. We covered shorts. I told you that Apple could go to 120, right? Should go to 120. What happened? What we're trying to do, George, is get you to where you're going to be 3 weeks from now. Not 3 minutes from now, not 3 days from now. And that's just what it is. I mean, that's how I do it. I mean, if people like that, that's seemingly they do. Our subscribers are at all-time highs, and I appreciate all of you, the 99% of you who are executing on the process that way.